My mother-in-law often throws my cooked food in the trash.
Human food is too good for you. I think water will do for you. It's just right for you, fatty. If you eat pork, you'll end up cannibalizing.
Wait, what? That's saying too much.
Shut up. As long as I have my granddaughter, I don't need you. I'm the one doing the housework and raising my granddaughter, right? Don't you talk back to me. I feel sorry for my son for marrying a woman like you. You're not good looking. You're homely and useless. You're a disgrace to have in our family. Well, there's not a soul in this house who'd consider you family anyways. My grandchildren are like my daughters, so you are nothing to them. You can go about your business as you should, like a pig, eating leftovers so as not to cause any trouble.
I have no human rights and treated with irrational contempt. Why? What have I done? The sadness that had been building up in my heart reached its limit, and large tears spilled from my eyes. My name is Nicole, and I am a stay-at-home mom. I have a husband and a daughter.
Good morning, Mom.
My daughter Madison is in 6th grade. I'm proud of her because she's bright, cheerful, and naturally makes everyone around her happy. Good morning, Madison. Today's lunch is your favorite. Omelets.
Wow, I'll be looking forward to it. I love your omelets more than anything in the world.
Yes, I'm glad you like it.
Oh, by the way, I got a text from Dad last night. He said he'll be home in time for my summer vacation.
That's great to hear.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Her father and my husband, Daryl, is currently overseas. He's an executive at his company, and he's extremely busy, so he only gets to come home once or twice a year. Madison and my husband don't see each other very often, since the assignment was made shortly after Madison was born. Even so, Madison is very attached to my husband, and he also cares about her a lot.
Well, I'm off to school now.
Have a good day. I'm sure she misses her father very much. Even so, Madison never whines about it, and always smiles, and makes me feel at ease. I am the one more worried about my husband's absence, and sometimes gets nervous about things. Seeing me like that, I think Madison is acting stout-heartedly because of her concern for me. A smart and kind husband, and a good-natured, strong-willed daughter. Thankfully, with these two people in my life, I can say that my life is smooth sailing. Except for one person, my mother-in-law. After sending Madison off, I was cleaning the room when the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find my mother-in-law, Amy, standing there smiling.
Hi, Nicole. How are you today?
Hello. I'm doing fine. I answered the door with a smile and gave a casual answer. My mother-in-law is a frequent visitor, and she does all the housework to the point where I have nothing to do left.
I'll do the cleaning so you can sit down, Nicole.
She smiles at me, but I don't miss it. Despite her kind words, I never miss the mean glint in her eyes. Before I got married, I thought that my mother-in-law was a wonderful woman. She was graceful, smart, and kind. I even admired her. But after I gave birth to Madison, I started to notice some disturbing signs. When I was confused about raising a child for the first time, and my husband's absence, she would approach me to give me advice. But then she would enter our home more and more uninhibitedly. Then she began to take care of Madison excessively. In addition to doing housework, she pushed me away to attend her open houses and acted as if she were Madison's parent. I could see that at the root of this behavior was the idea that my mother-in-law, my husband, and my daughter were family by blood. But I, her daughter-in-law, was a stranger, and she wanted to ostracize me. I could also see that she wanted to raise Madison in her own way.
Hey, Nicole, I'll cook dinner here tonight so the three of us, including Madison, can eat together.
My mother-in-law, who had just finished cleaning the house, was delighted to make such a suggestion. No, it's okay. I'll cook. I feel bad for always making you cook. Not wanting to ingratiate myself further with my mother-in-law, I tried to gently turn down her suggestion. But my mother-in-law said,
Don't worry about it. Madison likes my cooking anyways.
She stubbornly refuses to take a step back, to let Madison think that her cooking is delicious, and to feel like she was the one raising Madison, not me. That was what she wanted to do. These days went on, and I became stressed out. I was afraid that Madison would sense the discord between my mother-in-law and me, and she would get stressed out too. Would Madison eventually be inspired by her grandmother to shun me? I couldn't help but feel anxious at the thought. At first, I tried to bear it on my own, but then I felt I was reaching my limit. I wanted to talk to my husband about it. I felt uncomfortable contacting my husband, who is a busy man, and I'm sure he wouldn't be happy to hear me bad-mouthing his mother. But I knew that my mother-in-law was probably taking advantage of the fact that my husband knew nothing about it, and that my husband was the only one who could help me with this situation. So I turned on my laptop and reached out to my husband via video call. Nicole, what's wrong? Did anything happen? On the screen was my husband, still looking at me tenderly. I'm sorry for the sudden call. It's okay. Don't hesitate to let me know if you need any help. When I saw my husband's smile, I felt relieved, and my suppressed feelings began to overflow, and I told him everything my mother-in-law had done. My husband listened to me quietly, nodding his head. My mother was treated like that by her mother-in-law, my grandmother. I guess she thinks that you, the next generation, deserve to be treated the same way she was treated. I see. I know it must be hard for you, and I'm worried about how it's going to affect Madison. But I'll protect you guys. I feel a little better now that my husband understands what I was going through. Somewhere along the line, my mother-in-law started bringing gifts when she visited our house.
Nicole, here's some muffins I got from the store in front of the station, where there's always a long wait line.
Thank you very much. I'll prepare some tea now. I have no idea what she's thinking. It's so creepy.
I've been eating a lot less lately. You can have some for me if you like.
I see. Well, I'll have some if you say so. This exchange went on almost every day. She also started following me around and restraining me even more than before, asking me to watch TV together and do some baking, so I lost time for my daily walking and stretching routines. In the end, my weight increased more and more because of all the sweets and lack of exercise. And my mother-in-law's attitude changed drastically when she saw me getting fatter and fatter. One day, my mother-in-law came to our house, and as soon as she saw me, the first thing she said to me was,
"Nicole, you've been gaining some weight lately, haven't you?"
She looked at me coldly, as if she was looking at something dirty. Yes, I was thinking that too. I've got to go on a diet. When I replied with a friendly smile, my mother-in-law's tone of voice turned sharp and fierce.
"You need to lose weight now. I can't have Daryl have a wife in that shape. Even Madison wouldn't want to have with such a sloppy mother."
While I was stunned, my mother-in-law strode into the kitchen and looked at the fried rice I was making for lunch. And the next moment, she threw it into the trash.
What?
I didn't have time to process what had just happened.
You shouldn't be eating such calorie-dense food.
I stood there for a while in surprise. Then my mother-in-law's attitude escalated. One night at dinner, I looked at the table with all the food my mother-in-law had prepared, and I was mortified. While my mother-in-law and Madison were sitting down to a sumptuous steak, I was sitting down to a bowl of yogurt. What is this about?
You're on a diet, aren't you?
My mother-in-law said mockingly. But
what are you complaining about? I'm just trying to be considerate.
No, it's nothing. I'm sorry.
You're taking it too easy. You're a housewife. You don't even do your own housework. That's why you're fat.
I couldn't believe my ears. It was my mother-in-law who wanted to do all the housework.
Maybe I spoiled you too much. I'll have you move around from now on.
But even after that, I was not allowed to do housework, but was forced to do hard exercises, such as jogging 5 miles and doing 1,000 sit-ups every day. As I was getting drained from the hard workout, I realized my mother-in-law's terrible plan. She had deliberately made me gain weight. Now she wanted to force me to lose weight and put a strain on my body. How could she do such a cruel thing to me, no matter how much she disliked me? I felt so unbearable that I cried quietly by myself in the bathroom at night. Then, suddenly, Madison came. I didn't want to worry Madison, so I hastily wiped away my tears.
Are you being bullied by Grandma?
No, that's not it. You don't have to worry about anything. Even if I hide it, this girl who is more perceptive than most will understand.
Mom, I love you for always smiling and listening to what I have to say. I don't care if you've gained weight.
Madison. When I heard those words, I had an epiphany. I felt foolish for fearing that Madison might be influenced by her grandmother. She's already grown up enough to be able to make good decisions on her own. I had to be strong too. I am her mother. I must be strong and protect Madison. I can't let my mother-in-law keep letting me down. That was when I had an idea. A few days later, it was Madison's 12th birthday. As usual, my mother-in-law took care of the party and didn't let me do anything. Though I was worried that she would harass me again, I thought she wouldn't make it a big deal on such a big day like Madison's birthday. But I was naive. It seems that my mother-in-law is really rotten at heart. My mother-in-law's order of roast pork for 2 was for 2 people, and there was none for me. Mother, what in the world? I was so disgusted that I couldn't speak. My mother-in-law was sipping a bottle of fine wine all to herself.
I ordered delivery for my family. You're just the wife, not my family.
She smiled wickedly at me. That's just going too far. My mother-in-law glared at me and put a glass of water in front of me.
Shut up. The food is too good for a person like you. I think water will do for you. It's just right for you, fatty. If you eat pork, you'll end up cannibalizing.
I glared back at my mother-in-law. I'm family too. I'm Madison's mother. My mother-in-law seemed to flinch a little, but then she quickly reasserted herself and yelled at me.
As long as I have my granddaughter, I don't need you. I'm the one doing the housework and raising my granddaughter, right? Don't you talk back to me.
At that moment, Madison, who had been silently listening to the conversation between my mother-in-law and me, started to cry. It's my fault, isn't it? You two don't get along with each other because of my birth. Madison burst into tears. Madison!
Madison!
Madison's distress seemed to make even my mother-in-law panic a little, but she immediately turned to me and said, It's your fault. You made Madison cry. How can you do this to her? And blamed me. And that's when it happened. Mom, that's enough. My husband's voice echoed through the room.
Daryl?
My mother-in-law looked around in panic. It was understandable that she was surprised to suddenly hear the voice of her son, who was supposed to be abroad. He is here. I lifted up my laptop, which was in a corner of the room, and held it in front of my mother-in-law. On the screen was my husband. I had recently decided to secretly connect a video call with my husband whenever I was with my mother-in-law. That was the idea I came up with to combat her. Mom, Madison is Nicole and my child. One of us isn't the only parent. We're family.
That's not true.
I know how badly your mother-in-law treated you, and I'm grateful that you raised me the way you did despite that. But you know what, Mom? It's not about the past. It's about the future. It's about how Madison is going to grow up. I won't forgive you if you make Madison sad.
But...
If you can't understand that, then stay out of our family. Even my mother-in-law, who is like a heartless devil, seems to have a weakness for her beloved son. With that, she plodded her way home.
Dad...
Madison stares intently at the computer screen. Happy birthday, Madison. I'm sorry I can't be there with you.
Oh, Dad, you are so cool. Thanks, Dad.
I'm glad to hear that. Your mother and I will take care of you no matter what. I was so happy to see them like that. I thought to myself that I was truly blessed to have such a wonderful husband and daughter. But then I came back to reality. My husband has seen me so fat. In the past, I have always tried to avoid having my husband see my body when we used video calls. But today, I let my guard down and exposed my entire body. I'm sorry I've gained so much weight. I quickly apologized. My husband was stunned, but immediately burst out laughing and said, Don't worry about it. You may be chubby, but you're still you, and nothing has changed. Thank you. That's so nice of you. But I'm going to try to lose weight. The room was filled with laughter of the three of us. After that, my husband distanced himself from his mother, who never changed her mind. Not only did she not get her grandchild, her son abandoned her. I'm sure she will spend the rest of her life alone and lonely. Now I live with my husband, who has returned, and my daughter, who is now in junior high school. Needless to say, Madison's face is brighter than ever now that she can live with her father she loves so much. I believe that the family environment created by adults has a great impact on children. I want to be a strong mother and work together with my husband to keep Madison's smile alive.